Therapy dogs have been shown to help soothe people going through a tough time, so it makes sense that their presence could calm a classroom.
For 6 years, a teacher at Patriot Elementary in Papillion has brought in her certified therapy dog. Today, we show you the benefits as we go in the classroom.
He ate some, so they're going away.
One little lady at Patriot Elementary earns praise from teachers.
She's definitely the most popular girl in the school.
And students.
She comes over and she sits with you.
Meet Phoebe.
I love dogs.
Not your stereotypical hyper terrier, this Westie has the patience to be a perfect therapy dog.
And her vest is her sign that she has to go to work. When I put her vest on, she's a completely different dog. At home, I still see a lot of the puppy behavior.
Phoebe comes to work with her owner, second grade teacher Kelly Vornbrock, at least a couple times a week. She says the pup helps teach respect.
Their voice level has to be a little bit quieter because she has sensitive ears. They know that they have to pick up their pencils and their crayons.
After all, fallen markers could end up with nibble marks. And Phoebe is a friendly face when a student needs it.
You're having a hard time, you might go to the chill chair and Phoebe might come over.
I've seen her sit with students who have autism when they're starting to feel really overwhelmed. She will go and sit underneath their chair and they'll just reach down and pet her.
Her calmness in the sometimes chaotic classroom is amazing. Even when the kids wanted to shine in the TV camera spotlight.
Guys, get over here.
Phoebe gently cozied in for her close-up. And there have been a total of 3 therapy dogs at Papillion La Vista Community Schools, and it is a family affair. They are owned by Vornbrock's mom and sister, who both work in the district as well. The In the Classroom series is part of our commitment to covering education in our communities. You can find our ongoing series on our website, 3newsnow.com. A former West Omaha daycare provider caught roughing up a 4-year-old on camera enters a plea to child abuse charges. The one thing prosecutors say made this case airtight.
And it's been a cool day today, but the sun has returned. For how long, I'll let you know. Plus, I'm tracking another cold front. The changes that will bring to the area coming up next.
Swing sets and play sets.
Carpet. Construction debris. Televisions. And electronics.
We'll take almost anything that fits in our truck.
Call today, we'll be there today. Omaha's 1-800-GOT-JUNK. We make junk disappear.
You're all set. You got Cox high-speed internet with new panoramic Wi-Fi, so you'll have blazing fast speeds all over your house.
We'll see about that. Wi-Fi never reaches all the way up here.
Get Cox high-speed internet starting at just $29.99 a month and ask about our new panoramic Wi-Fi.
Cool, right?
Get wall-to-wall fast. Cox high-speed internet starts at $29.99 a month and ask about new panoramic Wi-Fi for blazing fast speeds all over.
No way it's fast down here.
You were right.
It's fast all over.
Yep.
Right?
Prepare to be blown away. Cox high-speed internet starts at just $29.99 a month and ask about our new panoramic Wi-Fi for wall-to-wall fast.
Where'd you get the shorts?
The internet.
When it comes to comfort, you have high standards. At Standard Heating and Air Conditioning, we do too. The qualified technicians at Standard Heating and Air Conditioning provide prompt and professional service every time. They only repair what needs repairing. Keeping your home and family safe and comfortable is our highest priority, so that you can enjoy the moments you treasure. It's just part of.
Carrier, turn to the experts.
Quality Dental Care of Omaha and Bennington. Whether you need a routine cleaning, implants, or cosmetic dentistry, the skilled dental professionals at Quality Dental Care promise to create a smile you can enjoy for a lifetime. We focus on making procedures as comfortable as possible. Sedation is available, same-day treatment is possible, and emergencies are welcome. With 4 dentists on staff, Quality Dental Care is your family's complete oral health solution. Quality Dental Care of Omaha and Bennington.
Plattsmouth. Thanks for watching KMTV3.
A former West Omaha daycare provider will be sentenced next year after pleading no contest today to intentional child abuse.
The victim's parents hope that she will spend several years in prison. Reporter Megan Stewart is live now with the details. Hey, Megan.
Jen and Lindsay, the Myers family wants the maximum sentence for the woman who they trusted to be a part of their daughter's life. Lynn Rowe pleaded no contest today to felony child abuse stemming from what's seen in this video taken by a worker on March 28th. Rowe appears to be hitting, punching, and shaking the 4-year-old child. She faces up to 3 years in prison. Prosecutors say this video evidence makes the case airtight.
You know, without the video, you might have some injuries to the child, and maybe somebody saw it and would testify to it, but there's always still that question. The video obviously makes it very solid from the standpoint of we know what happened.
Rowe will be sentenced in January, and the victim's parents were in court today. Coming up tonight at 6, why they say Rowe's plea just isn't enough. Reporting live here in the studio, Megan Stewart, 3 News Now.
A man will be sentenced in January for causing a deadly fiery crash on the ramp from I-80 to I-680. 32-year-old Nehemias Garcia Velasco pleaded no contest to vehicular homicide while under the influence of alcohol. Police say Garcia Velasco was speeding when the van he was driving hit a bridge and caught fire on July 5th. This is video of that. 58-year-old Silvano Torres was in the back of the van and died.
If you've seen an uptick of angry drivers on our area roads, well, you're not alone. A new study ranked Nebraska as the worst state for road rage this year. The American Insurance Center ranked states based on the number of Instagram posts tagged with road rage per capita through the end of May. Nebraska topped the list just ahead of New York and Nevada. Now that's up from 2016 when Nebraska was the 5th worst on the same list. The study showed most road rage posts came between 9 and 10 at night.
Weather Alert meteorologist Jennifer Zeppelin is here now. Got outside for a walk today. I've just been trying to savor every day I can because you know it's going to get that much colder soon enough.
Layers. Yeah, it's coming.
It is, because we really have about 24 more hours before we really kind of get slapped in the face with a very, very cold air mass coming in here.
So that's ahead.
On Thursday. I know, kind of giving you a heads up here that some bigger changes coming our way. High pressure in control right now. That has ushered in some cooler air for today, but after cloudy skies this morning and now some sunshine this afternoon and lighter winds, definitely making it feel much better outside. However, the big change is still off to the north of us. You can see that the coldest air is still hanging out in Bismarck and Grand Forks, but if you think those numbers are bad, well, check out what's going on even further to the north of us. This is in Canada right now. This is the front that will be arriving late tomorrow night into early Thursday morning. And while we won't see highs in the teens and the 20s, our morning lows by Friday morning will definitely be dropping down into those teens. So it's going to be a very cold blast of air that's coming our way. It's getting organized off to the north of us. Big question now is, will we see any precipitation with it? Futurecast right now showing just some clouds passing through, mostly a dry system coming into the area. But as that high pressure begins to dominate our weather, that is going to allow for a very cold day, almost about a 15-20 degree drop in our temperatures going from tomorrow afternoon into Thursday afternoon. So we will see at least some more wild swings in our temperatures because we actually start warming it right back up again going into the weekend. Right now, just a mix of some clouds and sunshine, 45 degrees. We did manage to make it to 46 this afternoon. The winds are still coming in from the north at 8 miles an hour. So light winds, 52% humidity. Dew point just shows how dry it is in the atmosphere. Only 28 degrees on the dew points right now. So not expected to see any moisture as that high continues to dominate our weather. And this is where the clear skies and the light winds will have the greatest impact on our area for tonight. So beautiful view right now from St. John's on Creighton University campus. You're looking at mid to even upper 30s here up until about 9 o'clock tonight. The winds really settle down here. They'll be very light, almost calm between 1 a.m. to 5 a.m. So that will allow those morning low temperatures to drop into the even mid to upper 20s to start your Wednesday off. Very cold start. So as the kids head to the bus stop and you're heading out to work or needing to run some errands early in the day, it is definitely going to be a chilly start. 25 in Denison, Tacoma. I'm, at least at this point, expecting that 25 degree reading will probably hit it even here in Omaha. So most of us, almost all of us across eastern Nebraska, western Iowa, will actually drop well below freezing as we start your Wednesday off. Tomorrow afternoon, though, with plenty of sunshine, light winds once again, and the winds will be coming in from the south-southwest, will actually warm it up a couple more degrees than what we ended up with today. Mid to even upper 40s to near 50 degrees, and the winds will be relatively light, less than 10 miles an hour. So tonight, clouds will continue to keep decreasing. We'll see 25 degrees with clear skies in the morning, 50 degrees tomorrow afternoon, tons of sunshine. They'll make it feel even better outside, and those light winds out of the south-southwest. But it's the next 3 days that we kind of see some wild swings in the temperatures. Again, quite a contrast. We go from 50 to 37 for the high on Thursday. The coldest morning right now of this week is going to be Friday morning with 18. Nice recovery though, very breezy conditions for Friday, increasing cloud cover, and there will be another system coming in. So we have multiple, or really a series of fronts that will be impacting us here over the next 7 days. That will bring in some scattered showers throughout the day on Saturday. I just don't think it's going to be a major rain event for us. Just some spotty activity. We'll still manage to make it to 53. As the system passes through, by Sunday, we'll start off with 32, go to 50 for the afternoon high, dry. So most of the weekend shaping up pretty nicely. And then, boy, check out the numbers next week. So we go from 56 to 60 on Tuesday. We're all over the place, guys. I mean, that's just a crazy forecast the next 7 days.
7 days, kind of a tease, right? At the very end, it's 60, so you want to say, what's after that?
I know.
Does it continue?
Yeah,
What's
does
next?
it continue? I know. And it actually looks like the extended forecast, which I'll have an update on the next 8 to 14 days coming up here.
All right. Thanks, Jennifer. For weeks now, a Fremont family has struggled with exposed wiring and drywall and what they say could be possible mold inside their apartment. This after maintenance left a hole in the ceiling. 3 News Now reporter Megan Hahn spoke with the family and has reaction.
The family says they reported the ceiling leaking on October 15th. 2 days later, a maintenance man showed up, cutting a hole that left exposed drywall and piping. Now that hole still hasn't been repaired. Casey Croy says she's contacted management at Yorkshire Manor Apartments more than a dozen times about patching the hole above her shower. It all started when a bubble appeared to form in the ceiling, which was dripping water. Underneath the plaster was black discoloration. Maintenance showed up and cut out part of the ceiling, but never patched the hole.
I just don't understand how if somebody's going to wear a mask to cut something out, why they would leave that open for me and my kids to be around.
Croy says maintenance told her the leak was caused by backwater from the apartment directly above hers. She's contacted the Fremont Housing Authority about her problems, but was directed back to apartment management. The family says they've had problems with mold in the past and that they're concerned for their health. Hear more coming up at 6. Reporting in Fremont, I'm Megan Hahn, 3 News Now.
Well, it's always nice to have a little cash around for the holidays. This time of year, seasonal jobs can give you that, and they can also lead to something more.
Reporter Annie Taylor is going straight to the people in the know to find out the keys to getting hired.
The 2017 holiday season has just begun, and if you're looking to make some extra cash, well, you're in luck because places like Target, UPS, and Macy's are offering seasonal hiring positions, and we're here to help you land one.
There is no shortage of job openings this holiday season. Target is looking to hire 100,000 people. UPS needs to fill 95,000 positions, Macy's 80,000, and JCPenney has 40,000 seasonal positions to fill. So what's the key to getting hired?
So here at Macy's, we have a lot of different positions here. Most of them are customer focused. So we're really looking for great attitude, friendly, and really enthusiastic individuals that really want to give great service to our customers.
If it's got UPS's name on it, we're hiring right now.
Both UPS and Macy's representatives tell us experience is not always necessary for seasonal hires.
For drivers, you don't have to have any experience. You can literally have never been behind the wheel of one of these big vehicles, and we'll put you through a training class that teaches you everything that you need to know to be a UPS delivery driver.
As for pay, it depends on the job and sometimes location. Starting salary at Target is $11 an hour. UPS says their pay ranges from $10.20 to $32 an hour. Not only is the pay decent, we found there are great perks for seasonal hires too.
One, they have a flexible schedule, which is great during the holiday season. And secondly, they get to have a 20% discount just like every other Macy's associate. Plus we have some extra bonus days.
While many seasonal jobs are temporary, many big box retailers are making those holiday hires a permanent position.
Nationally, it's about 30% of our seasonal jobs turn into permanent jobs.
Remember, the holiday season for companies is make or break, so full-time or part-time employees are crucial. I'm Annie Taylor.
You've probably hired a babysitter or a pet sitter, but what about a livestock sitter? What prompted one man out east to come up with a business idea and why it's definitely a hands-on job?
And tonight at 5, now that fall is here and it is darker earlier, deer in our area are becoming more active. Coming up, a few safety reminders that could help you avoid some costly wrecks and repairs.
They walked the kids out, they walked the mom out, they were separated, and the mom was taken away.
Immigration laws are changing, tearing apart families right here in Omaha.
Children that lose their parents is just heartbreaking.
KMTV 3 News Now's Jake Wasikowski investigates deportation stories tonight on 3 News Now live at 10. Omaha Sunday Morning, a new program that spotlights the spirit of Omaha. Local stories that inform and inspire. Sunday mornings at 7:30 on KMTV 3.
Lend a hand during Yonkers Community Days this Wednesday through Saturday. Your $5 donation helps support over 9,000 local charities and gets you over $500 in coupons. And for this event, only use your coupons on bonus buys. Yonkers, better brands, bigger savings.
What's that? Some Mega Millions winner living out her fantasy. Aunt Edith.
Mega Millions in my pocket, Aunt Edith made it. Walking round jet setting, pink poodle, diamond wearing, family mad cause I got a timeshare and I ain't sharing. Mega Millions got me.
Bro, she's better than you, man. Oh, man, look at this. Man, it's just 2 million views. Boy.
Mega Millions is bigger. Make sure your dreams are too.
Play Mega Millions from the Iowa Lottery today.
How is affordable dentures so much less expensive?
It's all they do, so they're amazing.
But who has time for all that?
Everybody. They made these while we waited. Took one day.
They'll treat me okay?
Like family.
I can't believe I'm doing this. We should have done it years ago.
For affordable dentures and extractions, call 1-800-DENTURE today. One call and one day can change your tomorrow.
Parodontax, the toothpaste that helps prevent bleeding gums. If you spit blood when you brush or floss, you may have gum problems and could be on the journey to much worse. Help stop the journey of gum disease. Try Parodontax toothpaste.
Lend a hand during Yonkers Community Days this Wednesday through Saturday. Your $5 donation helps support over 9,000 local charities and gets you over $500 in coupons. And for this event, only use your coupons on bonus buys. Yonkers, better brands, bigger savings.
We've heard of dog sitters, even cat sitters, but what about a livestock sitter?
Nikki Batiste introduces us to a young man in East Bridgewater, Massachusetts, who saw a business opportunity in people's backyard farms.
This is a typical day on the job for Tyler Dalton, trying to catch a 200-pound ram. The lifelong animal lover is a livestock sitter for hire.
You're dealing with chickens, you're dealing with goats, you're dealing with sheep, cows, horses, alpacas, llamas, emus, turkeys.
A boom in backyard farms gave the 21-year-old the business idea.
It was not too much of a startup cost, so I bought a bunch of business cards, thought of a name, started advertising.
His company is Roosts to Ranches. Sue Shortman is a client.
This gives me freedom to actually go away and do things other than be tied to the farm all the time.
All right, guys, back.
For a modest price, Tyler feeds, catches, and cares for just about any animal, from piglets to peacocks.
He's definitely an animal whisperer. He can catch the ones that don't want to be caught.
To trim goat hooves, he has to wrangle them first. And it's not easy.
One goat cut.
Tyler is a regular sitter for the exotic animals at Rhineland Acres.
You don't want somebody that's going to be aggressive or mean, somebody that has a way with them, and he does have that.
I just want to make sure that every customer is satisfied.
And these are customers, too.
And these are customers, yes.
Tyler hopes to see his business grow, thanks to happy customers, human and hooved. Nikki Batiste, CBS News, East Bridgewater, Massachusetts.
Seems like a good job.
Yeah, being outside, being around animals.
Love
definitely.
A glitch has surfaced in Apple's latest system upgrade for the iPhone.
The auto correction that is driving users crazy, and the temporary fix Apple suggests you use.
Now's your chance to change your home forever with free windows for 24 months. That's no money down, no interest, and no payments for 24 months, plus huge year-end discounts on every window and door we sell. Experience the Renewal by Andersen difference.
One call, we do it all.
Celebrate over 20 years of America's biggest rock holiday tradition. Trans-Siberian Orchestra's Ghosts of Christmas Eve. Live in concert, presented by Hallmark Channel. November 16th at Mid-America Center. Tickets are on sale now at Ticketmaster.com or the venue box office. Trans-Siberian Orchestra.
It's the grand opening of the newest Lebeda Mattress Factory showroom, and we're celebrating with grand opening sale prices at all Lebeda locations. Pillow tops with cooling gel memory foam, just $4.99. Premium latex pocket coil hybrids, grand opening price just $8.99. Two-sided mattresses that can be flipped, micro coil pillow tops, even adjustable beds with power bases. Grand opening sale prices on nearly everything in the store. Celebrate and save at Lebeda.
When you think of Rebath, what comes to mind? Did you know that Rebath does the entire bathroom from start to finish? Way more than just the tub or shower area. Fixtures, tile, trim, sinks, faucets. If it's in the room, we do it. And with Rebath, there's no hassling with lots of different contractors and specialists. You deal with our people from beginning to end, and they build your beautiful new bathroom. Visit Rebath at myheartlandhome.com and get started today.
Let's find out how CenturyLink stacks up to Cox. Do they have a remote you can talk into? Access to the top 100 primetime TV shows on demand and the same fast internet speeds everywhere? Cox has it all. With CenturyLink? Time will tell. But see for yourself.
Take the Cox Challenge. Get a better bundle with Contour TV, up to 100 megs internet and phone. Just $89.99 a month with no contract.
Go online and take the Cox Challenge today.
iPhone users may have recently noticed their smartphone has a mind of its own, auto-correcting the letter I while typing.
Yep, Apple is blaming it on the most recent iOS update, while the company says that they're working on a solution for the glitch. Hanadoba shows us what you can do in the meantime.
Just how important is the letter I? Well, many Apple users are learning the answer to that question the hard way. Chances are if you updated your iPhone or iPad to Apple's latest operating system, whenever you type the letter I, it autocorrects it to the letter A with this symbol next to it. Many frustrated users took to Twitter to complain about the glitch, writing, "Good morning to everyone except the letter I on the iOS 11 update." And I think the new iOS 11 update forgot how to autocorrect I. Come on, Apple. While this bug is persistent throughout several different apps, not everyone is affected. Apple has provided a temporary fix for those who are. The company recommends using text replacement as a short-term solution. Here's what to do. Go to Settings and then General. Next, tap on Keyboard and Text Replacement, and then click on the plus sign in the top right corner. Beside Phrase, type uppercase I, and beside Shortcut, type lowercase I. Tap Save in the top right. Apple CEO Tim Cook has boasted about this latest software in the past.
We're going to take the world's best and most advanced mobile operating system and turn it up to 11.
But considering this is a company which names most of its products beginning with the letter I, this is a bit ironic. Hanadoba, CBS News.
I keep noticing it on Facebook and Twitter posts. I'm like,
thinking,
what?
Yeah, yeah. Hey, that's kind of a neat fix, though. CVS says that it will offer next-day delivery for prescription drugs nationwide beginning in 2018.
Some cities could even get same-day delivery. CVS is making the move ahead of widely expected plans that Amazon will get into the prescription drug business. Amazon has not made an official announcement, but it has secured several state permits over the past year to operate as a wholesale pharmacy distributor. Microsoft just launched its newest Xbox, and it's expected to be one of the hottest holiday gifts this year.
Yeah, talk about lines. Microsoft says that people were lined up all around the world overnight for hours in hopes of getting their hands on the new Xbox One X. Microsoft calls it the most powerful console in the world. It says that anyone who wants one should move fast. Well, the idea of computers taking over the planet, threatening humanity, kind of sounds like a favorite sci-fi plot. But if you thought that it was all fiction, no science, you might want to think again.
Scientist Stephen Hawking seems to agree with Hollywood, at least in part. Hawking says artificial intelligence could pose a threat, surpassing humans in a few decades. He says AI could develop a will of its own, becoming, quote, the worst or the best thing that has happened for humanity. He says companies and scientists need to think about the long-term benefit to humanity as they pursue short-term goals with AI.
Police say the suspect in the Texas church shooting rampage had a history of domestic violence. Why some say domestic violence could be a red flag that someone may be a step closer to carrying out a similar crime.
Taco John's new sirloin steak nachos aren't just a game changer, they're a name changer. Tons of fresh made chips, creamy poblano queso, loaded with juicy hunks of hand carved sirloin steak. All that steak, all that nacho, all for you. Consider the nacho game changed. Taco John's.
It's comforting to know that your car will protect you if you're ever in an accident. But it's even more comforting to have a car that can also help you avoid accidents altogether. That's why every Toyota Corolla comes with Toyota Safety Sense, an advanced suite of active safety technology at no extra cost. The 2017 Toyota Corolla. Safety for everyone. Tested, trusted, Toyota. Get 0% APR financing for 72 months on a new 2017 Corolla. Or get $2,500 customer cash. Toyota. Let's go places.
At Longhorn, step into wood, stone, steak. Don't prepare a meal for yourself. Prepare yourself for a meal. Feast on one of Longhorn's steakhouse cuts. 12-ounce New York strip, center-cut Flo's filet. For a limited time, 14-ounce Delmonico. The feeling, the flavor, the place. Longhorn Steakhouse. You can't fake steak.
Ready for this?
Rehabilitation success is measured in breakthroughs. Taking steps after severe brain trauma. The feeling of reassurance after a spinal cord injury. Words after a stroke. At Madonna Rehabilitation Hospitals, leading physicians, staff, and technology bring hope to families and healing to patients. So with every new breakthrough, they can come to believe, now you can.
Well, I'm really glad this worked out.
And from the sound of it, he's almost done.
Who knew a plumber would come out on Thanksgiving Day?
We are really lucky.
This Thanksgiving, don't hire a turkey to fix your plumbing or water problems. Call the experts at Roto-Rooter.
We're learning more details about the gunman who carried out Sunday's massacre at a Texas church.
A police report indicates Devin Kelly escaped from an El Paso mental health facility in 2012, where he was being held for threatening his Air Force superiors. Police found Kelly at a bus stop and returned him to the facility. The report raises more questions about how Kelly was able to buy guns despite a known history of violent behavior. 26 people died in the shooting. The suspect in the Texas church massacre is the latest in a string of mass shooters who had a history of either being threatening or abusive before carrying out their attacks.
Weijia Zhang has more on signs that could raise a red flag.
The shooter in a Texas church massacre had a history of domestic violence.
There was a domestic situation going on within this family.
A 2017 report from a gun control group used FBI data to show 54% of mass shootings relate to domestic or family violence. In 42% of the cases, the gunman showed warning signs. James Hodgkinson, the 66-year-old shooter who opened fire at a congressional baseball practice in June, had been arrested in 2006 for punching a woman in the face. And the first wife of Pulse nightclub shooter Omar Mateen claimed he beat her repeatedly.
There are many people who do engage in domestic violence. They never go on to become mass killers. But because it's prominent in a number of cases that we've seen over time, it really does need to be considered as perhaps one of the warning behaviors.
Experts say other warning signs include becoming obsessed with other mass killers and acquiring more firearms, and that family and friends often see the behavior ahead of time.
What happens is that family members or friends will begin to normalize it or try to handle it themselves, and it becomes uncontrollable behavior.
Experts say it's crucial that family and friends alert authorities. Weijia Zhang, CBS News, Washington.
Experts say other warning signs include a buildup of anger and resentment from a life that has not been successful. Gunmen disguised as police officers stormed a television station in Kabul in the latest deadly assault targeting Afghan journalists.
ISIS has claimed responsibility for the attack. A suicide bomber blew himself up at the gate of the station's compound, and a gunman got inside and shot at staff before fighting a gun battle with Afghan troops. The attackers were dressed as police officers. Now, this is the first major attack on an Afghan media organization since the Taliban were ousted from power back in 2001. President Trump is in the middle of a two-day visit to South Korea, talking about the North Korean nuclear threat and trade.
The president got right to business, meeting with U.S. military leaders and with the South Korean president. The president and First Lady also attended a state dinner where he said the partnership between the U.S. and South Korea has never been stronger. The North Korea government says it's keeping a close eye on the president's visit and on joint naval drills in the area.
Suspended. All fraternity and sorority activities at Florida State have been halted after the death of a freshman pledged last week. How long the suspension will be in place and the other steps the university is taking in the wake of this tragedy.
When it comes to comfort, you have high standards. At Standard Heating and Air Conditioning, we do too. The qualified technicians at Standard Heating and Air Conditioning provide prompt and professional service every time. They only repair what needs repairing. Keeping your home and family safe and comfortable is our highest priority, so that you can enjoy the moments you treasure. It's just part of.
Carrier, turn to the experts.
Eligible for Medicare? That's a good thing. But it doesn't cover everything. Only about 80% of your Part B medical expenses. The rest is up to you. So consider an AARP Medicare Supplement Insurance Plan, insured by United Healthcare Insurance Company. Like any of these types of plans, they could save you in out-of-pocket medical costs. Call United Healthcare Insurance Company today to request a free decision guide. With these types of plans, you'll be able to visit any doctor or hospital that accepts Medicare patients. Join the millions who have already enrolled in the only Medicare supplement insurance plans endorsed by AARP and provided by United Healthcare Insurance Company, which has over 30 years of experience behind it. Apply for a Medicare supplement insurance plan anytime you want. So don't wait. Call United Healthcare now to request your free decision guide.
You're all set. You got Cox high-speed internet with new panoramic Wi-Fi, so you'll have blazing fast speeds all over your house.
We'll see about that. Wi-Fi never reaches all the way up here.
Get Cox high-speed internet starting at just $29.99 a month and ask about our new panoramic Wi-Fi.
Cool, right?
Get wall-to-wall fast. Cox high-speed internet starts at $29.99 a month and ask about new panoramic Wi-Fi for blazing fast speeds all over.
No way it's fast down here.
You were right.
It's fast all over.
Yep.
Right?
Prepare to be blown away. Cox high-speed internet starts at just $29.99 a month and ask about our new panoramic Wi-Fi for wall-to-wall fast.
Where'd you get the shorts?
The internet.
The 3 News Now Mobile Storm Tracker, sponsored by Jensen Tire and Auto.
Another major U.S. college has banned all fraternity and sorority activity. Florida State University suspended Greek life after the death of a freshman pledge.
Manuel Barquez is in Tallahassee with a look at how administrators are responding to these kinds of tragedies at their campuses.
I think it could be a little bit of a wake-up call to kind of spread awareness.
Students had mixed feelings about the Greek suspension on Monday.
It really wasn't the fault of all the other fraternities.
While some thought the action was too drastic, the university president felt it appropriate in light of Friday's death.
We just wish we could have saved this individual. Sometimes an accident, nothing we could do about that, but this is something we've got to address.
Tallahassee police have not determined the exact cause of Andrew Coffey's death, but they say there are indicators that alcohol was involved. In a statement, Pi Kappa Phi, the fraternity Coffey was pledging for when he died, said, "The members of the chapter have been directed to cooperate fully with all investigative efforts."
It's obviously not just a problem for Florida State, it's a problem for just about every major university.
Earlier this year, authorities at Penn State suspended Greek social activities for the spring semester following the hazing death of 19-year-old Timothy Piazza. In September, the death of 18-year-old Maxwell Groover led Louisiana State University to issue a 1-month Greek suspension. Back here at Florida State, President Thrasher says he'll end the suspension when Greek organizations help create a new culture for students.
My hope is that it's not going to be long. I hope that they'll come in with some ideas. We have some ideas, and it will come to an agreement real quickly.
In the meantime, Greek organizations here at FSU are prohibited from holding new member events, chapter meetings, and even participating in next week's homecoming. Students will still be allowed to live in fraternity and sorority houses, but any violations of the ban will result in disciplinary action. Manuel Bojorquez, CBS News, Tallahassee.
As we kick off the Tuesday afternoon 5 o'clock rush, looks like things are starting to heat up. Several trouble spots already being worked. Injury accidents, 73rd and Town Center Parkway in the cleanup stages. That's just south of Highway 370. 84th and Haskell, we have an injury accident in the intersection. Emergency crews on the scene there. And numerous property damage collisions as well. Westbound I-80 at 60th. A truck has hit a pole on the right-hand shoulder there. Police and tow trucks on the scene. No lanes blocked, but be aware. Eastbound Harrison Street at 50th. A 6-vehicle pileup being worked there. Police sorting that out. In northbound North Freeway at Hamilton. Also an active gas leak being worked by MUD near 91st and Westridge Drive. That's south of Center. They advised to avoid the area. Drive times on the interstate showing the westbound I-80 off the pace a little bit, but moving with some spacing in traffic. At a live look at 60th and I-80 shows some sun glare to deal with westbound. And that tow truck on the right-hand side there to remove the vehicle that's up against the pole. Traffic appears to be getting by there fine. Doesn't appear to be causing a huge backup, and use caution on that stretch of westbound I-80 near 60th. That's your traffic update. I'm Jeff Larson on 3 News Now.
Right now at 5, the son of former Huskers athletic director Sean Eichhorst accused of sexually assaulting a 12-year-old boy. It caught everybody by surprise, but what the family attorney brought up yesterday raised even more eyebrows. Good evening, I'm Craig DeGrelli.
And I'm Jennifer Griswold. The lawyer issued a statement saying that 18-year-old Jack Eichhorst has autism. So we wanted to know what the reaction is to the autism revelation. Here's senior reporter Jake Wazakowski with what he discovered. Jake?
Guys, the charge and subsequent statement released by the family's attorney have some questioning if his developmental disability could have been a factor in the alleged crime. Jack Eichhorst, an autistic 18-year-old, faces sexual assault of a child. Police say he admitted to investigators he sexually penetrated a 12-year-old boy, but it was consensual. In October, the boy reported it to a school counselor and said he did not consent. A statement released by the family attorney said in part, quote, "His autism has never slowed his passion for life or his trust in others."
But this particular type of behavior is not characteristic at all.
Dr. Keith Allen is the director of psychology for the Monroe-Meyer Institute's Center for Autism. He says, like others, individuals on the autism spectrum are unique and often have challenges with social relationships, but he says they don't have a greater risk to commit crimes.
Sometimes it comes more from the unique experiences or circumstances they've been exposed to that have really nothing to do with the autism as a disability. That particular disability is not associated with more criminal behavior or sexual acting out.
The disorder commonly impairs the ability to communicate and interact. Monroe-Meyer has seen lots of success by putting autistic children in group settings to practice and develop social skills. Dr. Allen says they monitor children closely, but not because they're a danger to others.
Actually, individuals with developmental disabilities are at greater risk for being victims. And so we do pay attention to that.
Dr. Allen says there are very good resources to learn common characteristics of autism and evidence-based strategies to help. And we've got that information on our website at 3newsnow.com. Reporting live, Jake Wazakowski, 3 News Now.
Now to the story that a lot of Omaha parents are paying close attention to. A daycare operator caught on cell phone video yelling, slapping, and shaking a 4-year-old girl.
Today, Lynn Rowe entered a plea of no contest. We must warn you, the video that was key in the case is disturbing.
Quit messing with your hair.
That video, captured by an employee at the daycare near 112th and West Center, led to felony criminal charges. The little girl's parents are upset that Rowe did not plead guilty, but they did have a chance to look at her closely in court today.
We made sure to position ourselves so she'd have to walk right by us, and she's wiping away her tears and said, "I'm sorry."
Rowe could get 3 years in prison when sentenced. The Myers say their 5-year-old daughter is doing well at a new daycare.
The young woman accused of driving drunk and causing a deadly crash in Sarpy County entered a written not guilty plea today. A judge set bond for 22-year-old Paige Seaton, who you see in the wheelchair right here, at $20,000. She can only leave home for medical appointments. Investigators believe Seaton caused the crash north of the Platte River in October that killed 15-year-old Alexandra Linscott and critically injured her mother. Seaton's lawyer alleges that a man sexually assaulted Paige Seaton just hours before the crash when she picked him up to go to an Alcoholics Anonymous meeting. Seaton is facing motor vehicle homicide and DUI charges.
Live look outside and still not used to this. The setting sun at 5:01. A nice fall day, though.
Yeah, it looks like a postcard.
It really
in some
does. It's
senses.
beautiful.
Gorgeous shot of our skyline there, Zepp. And you know what? All in all, without the wind today, not so bad.
No, we'll take it, especially during fall and considering some of the weather that we've been dealing with already. This wasn't too bad, especially even though we had cloud cover in the morning and then the sunshine returning in the afternoon. But now that it's setting, temperatures will start to drop pretty rapidly. So we are looking at clearing skies for tonight. And with those light winds, temperatures are already dropping below 40 degrees in Tekamah, Wayne, already down to 42 over the Columbus area. In the next few hours, with those light winds and the clear skies, we're down into the upper 30s by just 7 o'clock tonight, and we stay in the 30s until around 1 a.m. The winds will be calm, very light, less than 5 miles an hour. In the morning, we're going to drop it down in the mid to even upper 20s. A very frigid start to your Wednesday morning, but I have even colder air coming our way. I'll show you which day and when that next system will arrive.
Now that it's fall, the rut or rutting season is underway for bucks looking for a mate. Deer are becoming more active across Nebraska and Iowa.
This is also the time of year where the number of accidents involving deer usually go way up. Reporter Andrea Braswell is live with how you can avoid a wrecked car and a high repair bill. Andrea.
Yeah, Jenny and Craig, and standing here, we actually just saw a herd of deer running past. So that's why this fence is put up to keep them off the road. But that doesn't mean they won't jump over it right into the path of your car. Deer are on the run. According to Greg Wagner with Nebraska Game and Parks, deer activity is increasing right now because it's mating season.
And this is where we have bucks that are chasing does, and you can see deer in the strangest of places, especially at low light and at night. You'll see a lot of deer crossing roadways.
And deer may cross paths with you in places where you may least expect.
Keep an eye out for deer, especially where we have rivers and creeks and prominent fence lines that bisect roadways, and don't rely on a deer crossing sign necessarily.
Wagner says you're likely to see deer during morning and evening rush hour.
The big thing is to slow down, no excessive speed. Hopefully, you have your seatbelt buckled on. If you see one deer cross the road in front of you, expect more to follow. It could be that buck chasing that doe going across the road, or fawns trying to keep up with the doe.
Residents in the Chaco Hill area say it's a problem that's gone on forever.
You just turn a corner and there's 3 or 4 of them standing in the middle of the street looking at you like, what are you doing?
Mark Zach says he's avoided hitting deer for 20 years.
And it's not unusual to see a half a dozen deer, walk through the yard pretty much every day.
And if you see one coming, have the nerve not to swerve.
It's when you swerve that you get in trouble. So you see deer crossing the road, you're going to honk your horn, tap your brakes, maybe even put on your emergency flashers, stay in your lane, do not swerve.
In Nebraska, Game and Parks tells me that animal-involved crashes has gone down in the last 10 years. In 2006, 140 crashes were reported. In 2016, just 79. Reporting in Omaha, Andrea Braswell, 3 News Now.
Survivors are revealing terrifying details about what happened inside the First Baptist Church in Sutherland Springs, Texas on Sunday. And there are new details today about the gunman. According to a police report, Devin Kelly escaped from a mental health facility in El Paso in 2012. He was reportedly held there after he threatened his Air Force superiors. Police found Kelly at a bus stop and returned him to the facility. Survivors on Sunday say he methodically went through the pews looking for more victims.
I could feel the gunshots. I saw them on the carpet because they have carpet in there. I could see the gunshots, coming down.
Can you imagine? Some survivors played dead. A local funeral home is offering caskets for all the victims. Also today, the pastor of the church revealed the shooter attended the church's fall festival on Halloween night last Tuesday. We also learned today a 2017 report from a gun control group used FBI data to show 54% of mass shootings relate to domestic or family violence. In 42% of the cases, the gunman showed warning signs. For instance, the 66-year-old man who opened fire on Republicans at a congressional baseball practice in June had been arrested for punching a woman in the face. Also, the ex-wife of the Orlando nightclub shooter, Omar Mateen, claimed he repeatedly beat her.
Health officials have begun to trace the steps of a person who tested positive for tuberculosis at Fremont Health. The patient was taken to an Omaha hospital on October 29th and later died. Experts are trying to figure out whether they need to treat anyone who may have been exposed to TB. Three Rivers Health Department has not released any information about the patient. It's election day across the river. Council Bluffs voters have a few more hours to choose their next city leader. In the mayor's race, Pottawatomie County Supervisor Scott Belt is challenging incumbent mayor Matt Walsh. Voters will also decide on who should fill 2 openings on the city council. There are 4 candidates running for the job. The polls close tonight at 8 p.m. Officials say they are expecting an 11% turnout. Authorities say a western Iowa county supervisor died this morning in a bizarre accident. The Harrison County Sheriff says 63-year-old Russ Kurth of Logan died in a grain bin accident just north of Missouri Valley. He says Kurth was checking on a leak on a new grain bin that was just filled. Officials say the bin door burst opening, burying Kurth in the corn. It took more than an hour to find him. Kurth was elected in 2014 to the Harrison County Board of Supervisors.
An Omaha immigration lawyer says deportations are happening at record numbers. Tom Campbell says in the past year, Immigration and Customs Enforcement has been more aggressive in identifying and deporting undocumented immigrants in Omaha. He says agents have nabbed them when they show up for work or when they pick up their children at school. In some cases, he says they're getting sent to Mexico even if they're from another country like Honduras or Guatemala.
Many of my clients, hundreds, in fact, were brought here as infants. Their first memory is in the United States. Their first language is English. They don't know where they were born, they don't remember, and it's not until later that someone says, hey, you're different. You're not from here like everybody else. And in their mind, this is a difficult concept to even understand.
Senior reporter Jake Wizakowski looks at immigration enforcement and the DACA dilemma tonight at 10 on 3 News Now. The Omaha Storm Chasers season is over, but the organization is getting an early jump on the season of giving. The team's charity presented a grant to the city of Bellevue today, about $3,000 worth. The Bellevue Parks and Rec program fields 110 baseball teams with more than 1,000 players. The city will also link up with the Offutt Air Force Base intramural program for use of the fields at Hayworth Park.
Patients and staff at the Children's Hospital had a tail-wagging good time celebrating the 1-year service of Sven, the facility pup. Staff called today Sven's Gotcha Day celebration, a phrase used to mark the anniversary of new members. The 2-year-old golden retriever joined the children's team back in November 2016. 2016. Sven works a 40-hour week, providing specialized therapy to young patients. Party guests made dog masks and played Paws and Bones tic-tac-toe. Oh, Sven, what a beautiful, beautiful dog.
Dogs and puppies always raise people's spirits,
they really
right?
do. Oh, I love the crown there. That's awesome.
Good stuff.
Americans across the Midwest did their part, helping fight the opioid crisis.
How many pounds of unused pills the DEA collected in its latest drop-off push? That's next.
You're watching KMTV 3 News Now with Jennifer Griswold, Craig Negrelli, and Weather Alert Team meteorologist Jennifer Zeppelin. This is KMTV 3 News Now, live at 5. Star 104.5, Omaha's favorite music from the 80s till now. And no repeats, 9 to 5.
Star 104.5, perfect while you're working.
Big Red Now, sponsored by Iman Plumbing, Heating and Air. Trust the Big Red Truck.
With pre-collision system, lane departure alert, and more, Toyota Safety Sense is an advanced suite of active safety technology, now standard at no extra cost on 15 Toyota models. Tested, trusted, Toyota. Get 0% APR for 72 months plus $1,000 bonus cash on a new 2017 RAV4 or get $2,000 customer cash. Toyota, let's go places.
It's 2:30 and they're sick. I'll never get them into the doctor today.
You can when you call Boys Town Same Day Pediatrics. When they're sick, you can count on us.
At Longhorn, step into wood, stone, steak. Don't prepare a meal for yourself. Prepare yourself for a meal. Feast on one of Longhorn's steakhouse cuts. 12-ounce New York strip, center-cut Flo's filet. For a limited time, 14-ounce Delmonico. The feeling, the flavor, the place. Longhorn Steakhouse. You can't fake steak.
Eagles love freedom and hate contracts, which is why I love this offer from Cox. With freedom to stream, download, or upload selfies crazy fast. Salmon. Plus free stuff like an HD receiver and free install. And freedomiest of all, no contract. You can change your mind at any time, but you'd have to be a bird brain to do that. Hey, I can say that, you can't.
Get Preferred 100 Internet, Contour TV, and digital phone for just $89.99 a month with no contract, free HD receiver rental, and free install included.
Now's your chance to change your home forever with free windows for 24 months. That's no money down, no interest, and no payments for 24 months, plus huge year-end discounts on every window and door we sell. Experience the renewal by Anderson difference.
One call, we do it all.
Underwood. Thanks for watching KMTV3.
Americans across the nation pitched in to fight the opioid epidemic by voluntarily getting rid of their pain pills. According to the DEA, states that include Nebraska, Iowa, and Kansas collected more than 76,000 pounds or 38 tons of unused prescription drugs in October. It was part of the DEA's 14th prescription drug take-back day. President Trump is calling on North Korea to make a deal. North Korea's nuclear threat is one of the key points of discussion during his visit to South Korea. President Trump called military force a last resort in confronting North Korea, but said it might still be a necessary one if Kim Jong-un does not back away from his nuclear ambitions. At a briefing with U.S. and South Korean military leaders, the president expressed optimism the nuclear standoff can be resolved peacefully.
Ultimately, it'll all work out, because it always works out, has to work out.
The visit has been all about diplomacy. President Trump's next stop, China.
Massive lines formed in Florida as officials issued cards in another round of disaster food assistance following Hurricane Irma. The storm ravaged Florida back in September, but many residents still need help. The D-SNAP program provides assistance to people who suffered a disaster-related loss but don't otherwise qualify for food stamps. The cards are essentially debit cards that can be used for groceries. Officials have handed them out before, but hundreds were turned away.
It's a sport you might not have heard of. First played during World War II to help veterans who are blind.
Now the game is gaining traction across the country and here in Omaha, too. That story in just a few minutes.
And temperatures today, we managed to make it to 46 degrees thanks to some sunshine and more sunshine on the way for tomorrow. But even colder air is headed our way when that next change will be arriving after the break.
They walked the kids out, they walked the mom out, they were separated, and the mom was taken away.
Immigration laws are changing, tearing apart families right here in Omaha.
Children that lose their parents is just heartbreaking.
KMTV 3 News Now's Jake Wasikowski investigates deportation stories tonight on 3 News Now live at 10.
Asking the right question is 95% of getting the right answer.
The North Koreans say this missile could carry a nuclear warhead. Is this a game changer?
CBS This Morning.
Daddy, were you scared?
Of course I was. I was having a heart attack.
Come on, Dad.
I kept thinking about you, your mother. Felt lucky. You all had me in the best place.
Of course we did, because it matters.
And I wouldn't be here if it didn't.
The state's most comprehensive heart care, Nebraska Medicine.
For 45 years, Mako and Meineke have been proud to serve those who served us. And in honor of veterans, you'll get up to 45% off Mako's auto paint and collision repair and Meineke's total car care. Visit Mako or Meineke.com for details.
She never let anything slow her down, even now. And Coventry is moving Medicare Advantage plans forward right along with her. We offer $0 monthly plan premiums and a limit on out-of-pocket medical costs you pay each year. Call Coventry today and we'll send you a $10 reward card with no obligation to enroll, because getting older clearly isn't what it used to be.
When it comes to comfort, you have high standards. At Standard Heating and Air Conditioning, we do too. The qualified technicians at Standard Heating and Air Conditioning provide prompt and professional service every time. They only repair what needs repairing. Keeping your home and family safe and comfortable is our highest priority, so that you can enjoy the moments you treasure. It's just part of.
Carrier, turn to the experts.
How is affordable dentures so much less expensive? It's all they do, so they're amazing. But who has time for all that? Everybody. They made these while we waited. Took one day. They'll treat me okay? Like family. I can't believe I'm doing this. We should have done it years ago.
For affordable dentures and extractions, call 1-800-DENTURE today. One call and one day can change your tomorrow. Gretna, thanks for watching KMTV3. Now, your weather alert forecast.
After cloudy skies today, nice to see the skies clearing out. Those clouds are moving out of the area, not having an impact on the evening commute tonight, but providing us with a beautiful sunset, which is definitely getting earlier these days thanks to that time change late Saturday night into Sunday morning. High pressure in control. That has allowed for much calmer winds across the area, and with those clear skies, we actually managed to make it into the mid-40s almost area wide. Some spots, though, a little cooler back to the north. These light winds will continue tonight, and we'll have a pretty big impact on our temperatures as we go into the early morning hours. It's going to be a frigid start in the morning with temperatures dropping into the mid-20s. Right now we're at 44 here in Omaha. Coldest air is off to the north of us. Grand Forks at 23, 35 in Bismarck. If you think those numbers are bad, look at what's going on in Canada. And the reason why I'm showing you this, here's our next cold front. You can see that it is organizing and it will keep pushing to the south, arriving here by early Thursday morning. And it has a very cold air with it. That's going to settle in here, kind of grip the area with afternoon high temperatures that are going to be way below average, and even morning lows that will drop into the teens. I don't expect to see afternoon highs in the teens and 20s, which is good news, but it will certainly give you a bit of pause when you walk outside. You're going to need your winter gear here over the next couple of days. As the front moves through, tomorrow, dry, sunny day tomorrow. Beautiful day, really, with a high near 50. High pressure, though, moves in here behind the front as it kind of passes through. It's a dry front, so it's not really going to bring any precipitation or moisture with it. Just dry, cold air will be settling in, and much stronger winds too. So the wind chill readings will make it feel even colder outside. 44 right now. Beautiful sunset taking shot right now from our Harris Casino cam. Our winds are very light, calm, 51% humidity, very dry outside. Not expecting to see any precipitation here, at least for the next 24 hours. And here's the temperature trend. We go from 40 at 6 o'clock this evening into the mid and even upper 30s by around 8, 9 o'clock. And then it starts dropping pretty rapidly. A big plunge here. By 1 a.m. we're down to 30 degrees. The skies will be completely clear. In the morning we start off with 25 in Denison, Tekamah, and I even think here in the metro that most of the locations will probably drop down to about 25, so well below freezing area wide. Afternoon high temperatures tomorrow with sunny skies and light south-southwest winds about 5 to 10 miles an hour. We'll manage to make it in the mid to even upper 40s. I think the model not really doing the warmth justice. I really think that we'll probably end up making it to 50 degrees. So 25 for tonight. The skies keep clearing. Clouds are decreasing. Tomorrow afternoon we'll go with a high of 50. Tons of sunshine around. It's going to be a beautiful day. So if you're still wanting to get out and do some yard work or needing to run any errands, tomorrow is going to be a fantastic one because big changes arrive here on Thursday. We go from 50 to 37. Morning low on Friday of 18. 45, very breezy conditions on Friday. So we see a nice big spike in the temperatures after a really one-day cold snap. Then we go into the weekend. Another front coming our way, series of systems, one after another rolling in. Chances for some scattered showers throughout the day on Saturday. High of 53, drier. Not too bad on Sunday with 50 degrees. Boy, but those numbers next week, Monday, Tuesday, 60. That looks fantastic compared to that 37.
Yeah, you got an 18 in there.
Yeah, ignore that one.
I'm just a big man.
Yeah, you blamed Fort McMurray, Canada, for that one. I saw that.
Blame Canada. I love it. All right, thanks, Jennifer. Well, this is a sport you might not have heard of. It's called goalball. It was first played in Germany back in 1946.
Fast forward to today, and goalball is now featured in Paralympic Games across the world and played at schools for the blind and visually impaired here in Omaha. Joe St. Clair has the story.
Like a mixture between bowling and soccer.
More like soccer and football.
Goalball is it's a 3-on-3 goalkeeping sport, and it's actually the only sport that's designed for athletes who are visually impaired. The most noticeable difference between goalball and most other sports.
It's all about the audience has to be quiet because it's a game of hearing.
Quiet, please.
I love the game. That's number one. And when I first heard about it myself in 1986, I thought, oh my God, this is going to be so boring.
It was developed as a means to help blinded World War II veterans in their rehabilitation.
Object of the game is to take that ball that's about the size of a basketball, maybe a little bigger, that has holes drilled in it with bells, and you roll it down to the other end and try to get it into that net behind the left wing and right wing.
It rolls pretty hard and pretty fast.
It's crazy. I wouldn't want to be on the receiving end of a goalball hit.
The big fast ones, those ones are deadly.
There is really no good way to describe how intense the game can get.
It's very funny when you hear people go, ooh, that had to hurt.
If you look out in the stands, you physically see people tensing up, you see them mouthing words, you see them silently cheering. The minute they score a goal, you can cut loose with your cheering.
If you can get out there and play the sport, then I would say go do it. Experience what it's like to be one of us out there.
The visually impaired can play, or the sighted can play because we all wear blindfolds.
Just to orient yourself without being able to see the court that you're playing on. And then with the introduction of a ball that you can't see, you have to listen to it to try to catch it. It's just unbelievable.
Fascinating. Goalball is also played in Omaha. Outlook Nebraska, an agency that offers services and activities for the visually impaired, is hoping to build goalball into a national competition and have organized competitions at UNO.
Tremendous goaltending there because they're relying on their sense of hearing to move and react to a ball that's coming pretty fast.
Yeah, so interesting that it is. It's silent there so they can hear that. Wow, incredible. Coming up at 6, a Fremont family is struggling with exposed wiring and drywall inside their apartment and what they believe could be mold. Now they're saying maintenance has failed to repair the ceiling and has only made it worse. The family's repeated attempts to fix the issue and what the health department is saying about the allegations.
523 live look outside on this Tuesday evening. Gorgeous shot of our skyline right here as well as the Missouri River. We're back after this.
Walt never smoked a day in his life, so when he developed a bad cough, we never thought lung cancer, but that's what it was. What gives a non-smoker lung cancer? a friend suggested we check the house for radon. Sure enough, it was high. We've had it taken care of now, but I wish we'd known sooner. Walt died 4 weeks and 5 days after the diagnosis. If you haven't had your home checked for radon, do it. Do it for your family. No one should lose someone they love because of this.
Is your home ready for the cold? For over 40 years, Exarban ARS has been Omaha Metro's heating, air conditioning, and plumbing experts. Professional and reliable, Exarban ARS technicians are backed by our exceptional service guarantee, plus fast and friendly service. The Fall Into Savings event is here. Get up to $1,900 off a complete system or a $500 furnace buyback. Call Exarban ARS at 402-935-6000 or visit exarbanars.com. Heating, cooling, plumbing. Ah, comfort.
It's comforting to know that your car will protect you if you're ever in an accident. But it's even more comforting to have a car that can also help you avoid accidents altogether. That's why every Toyota Corolla comes with Toyota Safety Sense, an advanced suite of active safety technology at no extra cost. The 2017 Toyota Corolla. Safety for everyone. Tested, trusted, Toyota. Get 0% APR financing for 72 months on a new 2017 Corolla. Or get $2,500 customer cash. Toyota. Let's go places.
You shop around. Do your research. Find the best fit. Why not do the same for your prescription drug plan? At SilverScript, we're experts in Medicare Part D, and 5 million people just like you trust us every day. With no deductible and lower monthly premiums, we can help you save money and get better coverage on thousands of prescriptions. So take a closer look at SilverScript. We think you'll like what you see.
Today we're going to talk about trucks. Right on. Which of these truck brands do you think offers best-in-class HD horsepower and the most capable off-road mid-size pickup? I go Ram. I would put it on Ford. Let's find out. Chevy. That's right. It's Chevy. They look amazing. Wow. Chevy's killing it. Yeah, definitely.
Current qualified GM lessees can get this light-duty Silverado All-Star for around $269 a month, or get special closeout pricing on our most popular 2017 Chevy trucks. See your Heartland Chevy dealers.
Ralston, thanks for watching KMTV3.
The Bottom Line, Omaha's first internet-only sports talk show, is now on AM 590 ESPN Omaha. Catch 4 more hours of local sports news and entertainment hosted by Michael Severe. Weekdays 10 to 2 on AM 590 ESPN Omaha.
Well, temperature-wise this weekend, not too bad. Actually very seasonal. Saturday, though, we start off with a few showers kind of on and off throughout the day. Not a soaking rains coming in. Drier, sunshine, Sunday, not too bad.
That's good.
It does look fantastic.
I like it.
A reminder, download the 3 News Now app for traffic, weather, and breaking news.
See you back here at 6 o'clock.
She's my sweetheart. When she had trouble hearing, we trusted them.
He's my guy. When serious sinus problems took him off the court, we trusted them.
More people trust Boys Town Ear, Nose, and Throat Institute when they need help. It's a center of excellence known worldwide for innovative care and the latest in hearing technology, backed by more than 40 years of life-changing research. When it's someone you love, trust Boys Town Ear, Nose, and Throat Institute.
It's the grand opening of the newest Lebeda Mattress Factory showroom, and we're celebrating with grand opening sale prices at all Lebeda locations. Pillow tops with cooling gel memory foam, just $4.99. Premium latex pocket coil hybrids, grand opening price just $8.99. Two-sided mattresses that can be flipped, micro coil pillow tops, even adjustable beds with power bases. Grand opening sale prices on nearly everything in the store. Celebrate and save at Lebeda.
When it comes to comfort, you have high standards. At Standard Heating and Air Conditioning, we do too. The qualified technicians at Standard Heating and Air Conditioning provide prompt and professional service every time. They only repair what needs repairing. Keeping your home and family safe and comfortable is our highest priority, so that you can enjoy the moments you treasure. It's just part of.
Carrier, turn to the experts.
Eligible for Medicare? That's a good thing. But it doesn't cover everything. Only about 80% of your Part B medical expenses. The rest is up to you. So consider an AARP Medicare Supplement Insurance Plan, insured by United Healthcare Insurance Company. Like any of these types of plans, they could save you in out-of-pocket medical costs. Call United Healthcare Insurance Company today to request a free decision guide. With these types of plans, you'll be able to visit any doctor or hospital that accepts Medicare patients. Join the millions who have already enrolled in the only Medicare supplement insurance plans endorsed by AARP and provided by United Healthcare Insurance Company, which has over 30 years of experience behind it. Apply for a Medicare supplement insurance plan anytime you want. So don't wait. Call United Healthcare now to request your free decision guide.
The 3 News Now Mobile Storm Tracker, sponsored by Jensen Tire and Auto.
Warnings missed. The Texas church gunman once escaped from a mental health facility and threatened Air Force superiors. Witnesses say he targeted crying babies in the church.
It sounds like he didn't want to take his finger off the trigger. He was like...
Also tonight,
ultimately it'll all work out.
President Trump tries a new strategy on North Korea.
Roy Halladay has thrown a no-hitter.
Breaking news, Cy Young Award-winning pitcher Roy Halladay killed in a small plane crash.
He was 1 in a million. It is a true loss for us.
Harvey Weinstein is accused of hiring an army of spies to dig up dirt on his accusers. And a museum's quest for green has an artist's family seeing red.
We kind of feel like he'd be rolling over in his grave.
This is the CBS Evening News.
Good evening, I'm Jeff Glore in Sutherland Springs, Texas. Anthony Mason will join us from New York in a moment. Tonight, it appears there were multiple warning signs about the gunman who opened fire during Sunday services here. They include reports of his violent past, an escape from a mental health facility, and death threats to Air Force superiors. He was able to buy weapons because of a mistake by the Air Force. 26 people were murdered at the First Baptist Church. 20 were hurt. 10 are in critical condition. David Martin begins our coverage.
A police report of a brief escape from a mental health facility threw an even darker light on the Air Force career of Devin Kelley. A 2012 El Paso Police Department report described Kelley as a danger to himself and others, as he had already been caught sneaking firearms onto Holloman Air Force Base in New Mexico, where he was stationed, and was attempting to carry out death threats he had made on his military chain of command. 5 months later, he was court-martialed for beating his then-wife and stepson, and was sentenced to a year in prison and a bad conduct discharge. Despite the history of mental health problems and the conviction for domestic violence, the Air Force failed to enter his name into the FBI database that is searched to determine if a person is barred from purchasing firearms, allowing him to buy the assault rifle he used to kill 26 people. Air Force Secretary Heather Wilson spoke with the CBS News streaming channel CBSN.
It's pretty clear that the checklist that we used was not followed by the local office, and his fingerprints should have been put into the database, and they were not.
FBI statistics indicate not just the Air Force, but the entire Department of Defense almost never files a report unless the offender also received a dishonorable discharge, a slightly harsher punishment than Kelley's bad conduct discharge. More than 11,000 dishonorable discharges have been entered into the database, but only 1 for domestic violence and 1 for mental health. In other words, the failure to flag Kelley to the FBI may not have been an isolated oversight, but part of a pattern of poor reporting throughout the Defense Department, a pattern first identified by the Pentagon's Inspector General 20 years ago. Jeff?
David Martin, thank you very much. It is believed that 1 week ago, the killer attended the Fall Festival at First Baptist and did not raise any alarms. 5 days later, he showed no mercy at the same house of worship, even to his youngest victims. Mark Strassman has more on this.
Outside the church that became a killing field, crime investigators reconstructed a madman's rampage. Lorenzo Flores spotted him first.
This guy was dressed like G.I. Joe, like all in black and all that stuff.
It was 11:10 Sunday morning. Flores, standing across the street, saw a man with a rifle close in on the church.
He didn't walk, he runs across the street like that in this position.
He was on a mission.
Yeah.
Gunman Devin Kelly first fired through the windows of First Baptist Church. When he walked inside, the real carnage began.
It was so scary, and that man was shooting. I mean, he was shooting hard.
Roseanne Solis and Joaquin Ramirez, both wounded, played dead on the floor.
Everybody got down, crawling under, wherever they could hide.
They were among roughly 50 congregants inside. Within minutes, about half of them were killed. The gunman paced the room, stalking the dead and the dying, and pumped bullets into whomever showed signs of life, especially crying babies. How long did the shooting go on for?
Man, it just sounded like forever. But
Flores thought that popping sound would never end.
It sounds like he didn't want to take his finger off the trigger. He was like, constant, like, it wouldn't let off.
Investigators recovered 15 empty magazines. Each held 30 rounds. Freeman Martin is with the Texas Department of Public Safety.
When the first call came in, the Wilson County Sheriff's Office arrived within four minutes. I can tell you 4 minutes is a long time during an active shooter situation.
Investigators refused to talk specifics about a motive. But Kelly, estranged from his second wife, had sent threatening text messages to his mother-in-law. She attends this church, but missed services this past Sunday.
How's that? The Comal County Sheriff's Office told CBS News there was a 2013 sexual assault case against Kelly, but investigators dropped it after he moved out of state. They now plan to reopen that case. Jeff?
Mark, thanks very much. Like the killer, some of the dead were Air Force veterans. Michelle Miller shares their stories.
Their deaths are in stark contrast to the lives they lived, lives defined by a love of God and country.
Join us as we sing Happiness is the Lord.
Robert Corrigan and his wife Shani epitomize that devotion at their church.
Happiness is the Lord.
And in their community, a deeply patriotic one. Corrigan moved here 2 years ago after a decorated 30-year career in the Air Force. As Chief Master Sergeant of the 55th Medical Group at Offutt Air Force Base in Nebraska, he led the largest and busiest in the Air Combat Command.
Being a musician, I really like Psalms 33.
In other words, Chief Corrigan was, quote, everything his killer was not, pointed out on this veteran's website. Bob and Jean Summers are his aunt and uncle.
They lost a young man that loved the military, that loved to serve his country.
Scott and Karen Marshall were also in the Air Force, stationed in North Carolina. They met in the barracks. Mike Norton had known the couple since then.
I knew that I had a brother and a sister that had my back.
Both families are reminiscent of the deep sense of service that runs through this part of Texas. Both have sons on active duty. Their loss still unfathomable to those who worshiped with them.
You know, it's just hard to imagine these poor innocent people. They had no idea. They were not returning back home.
This memorial of 26 crosses is just one of many throughout this town coping with their shared grief. And Jeff, funeral plans are underway that may include a mass service for everyone to worship together.
All right, Michelle Miller, thank you. Tonight we are getting a look at video shot just after the gunman was chased down by two men. The video shot by Johnny Langendorf, who drove the car in the chase. The shooter had driven off the road where he took his own life. Officers can be seen there with weapons drawn. As in any mass shooting, law enforcement is looking for clues that could help prevent the next attack. Here's Jeff Pegues with more on that.
Come on, I got the conference room in sight.
Police in Hamilton, Ohio, training for the next active shooter situation.
171 to 384.
Columbine, Aurora, Colorado, Newtown, and Las Vegas have all taught investigators that it is important to move fast. But they've also learned that it's difficult to predict who will be the next shooter. Tom Manger is the president of the Major Cities Police Chiefs Association.
We've yet to find this checklist of red flags or indicators that is really, I think, detailed enough and sophisticated enough for us to say, okay, we need to worry about, this individual because he meets, so many of these criteria.
Most active shooter situations occur in less than 5 minutes. An FBI report says 70% of the time they happen in either a business or educational environment, and with less frequency, open spaces, government properties, and houses of worship. Former FBI agent Catherine Schweit, who co-authored the study, says key to preventing the attacks is seeing the warning signs. So they get fixated
They
on
get
something.
fixated on something. That's one thing with regard to an idea, whether it's anger over a spouse or anger over an employer or a particular political position, that fixation, and it grows and it strengthens.
As much as police try to adapt their tactics, they know there is a limit to what they can stop.
If there was a perfect way to prevent these things, I'm sure that we would have already, implemented that.
Because these active shooter situations often unfold before police arrive on the scene, law enforcement officials emphasize that it is important to be aware of your surroundings and pay attention to where the exits are. Jeff?
Jeff, thank you very much. Now let's go back to Anthony Mason in New York. Anthony?
Thanks, Jeff. We have breaking news. Former pitching ace Roy Halladay was killed today in a plane crash off Florida's coast. Don Daler is following this.
Roy Halladay's single-engine aircraft went down around noon off the Gulf Coast near the town of Holiday, Florida. Pasco County Sheriff Chris Nocco says there was no mayday call and the plane was found in about 6 feet of water.
We know Roy as a person, a caring husband who loved his wife, Brandy. He loved his 2 boys tremendously.
Halladay was a relatively new but avid pilot, often posting pictures and video on social media of his Icon A5, a small amphibious sport plane. Before retiring from baseball 4 years ago, Halladay was known as a dominant pitcher.
The 1-2 pitch.
The 2-time Cy Young Award winner threw a perfect game during the 2010 season.
He retires all 27.
And a no-hitter in the postseason that same year.
Roy Halladay!
In his 16-year career with the Toronto Blue Jays and Philadelphia Phillies, he was an 8-time All-Star. During his retirement press conference, Halladay talked about how much the game meant to him.
Baseball has given us a lot, and it was a tremendous run, tremendous experience, something I'll never forget.
The Philadelphia Phillies released this statement. There are no words to describe the sadness that the entire Phillies family is feeling over the loss of one of the most respected human beings to ever play the game. Anthony Roy Halladay was 40 years old.
Thank you, Don Daler. President Trump seems to be trying a new approach to dealing with North Korea's nuclear threat. He revealed it today in South Korea when questioned by Margaret Brennan.
Have you seen any success in your diplomatic strategy so far? And do you still believe that direct talks are a waste of time?
I think we're making a lot of progress. I really believe that it makes sense for North Korea to come to the table and to make a deal that's good for the people of North Korea and the people of the world. I do see certain movement, yes.
With Secretary of State Rex Tillerson looking on, the president declined to say whether he still thought direct negotiations were a waste of time, as he tweeted last month, undercutting America's top diplomat by telling him to, quote, save your energy, Rex. Standing in Seoul, a city within North Korean artillery range, the president said he was reluctant to use military force.
We have many things happening that we hope, in fact, I'll go a step further. We hope to God we never have to use.
He notably chose not to repeat his ridicule of Kim Jong-un.
Rocket Man is on a suicide mission for himself.
A strikingly different tone from his past tough talk.
They will be met with fire and fury like the world has never seen.
The visit appeared carefully scripted to calm concerns in South Korea, whose president favors a restrained approach. He asked Mr. Trump to visit this military base instead of the demilitarized zone on the North Korean border. The president said he still expects South Korea to buy billions in U.S.-made weapons and said the U.S. already has significant military assets of its own in the region, including a nuclear submarine, and by the end of this week, 3 aircraft carriers. Anthony?
Margaret Brennan in Seoul, thanks. And coming up next on the CBS Evening News, new allegations that Harvey Weinstein enlisted an army of spies to silence his accusers. And later, plans for a high-profile auction, a master stroke or a crime against the arts.
We walk inside and it's raining. Our home was ruined. We couldn't live there.
Our first concern was the kids. This was going to be hard on them. Chubb got us a place to stay in the same school district. Otherwise, it could have been a nightmare.
Chubb turned a disaster into an adventure for our kids.
And no one missed a day of school?
Patrick woke up with back pain, but he has work to do, so he took a leave. If he'd taken Tylenol, he'd be stopping for more pills right now. Only Aleve has the strength to stop tough pain for up to 12 hours with just one pill. Aleve, all day strong.
Your eyes have a protective lipid layer that can break down and cause dry eyes. Soothe XP from Bausch & Lomb helps restore this layer, seal in moisture, and protect against further irritation. Soothe XP, extra protection for dry eyes.
Working hard to lower your LDL bad cholesterol? Not making enough progress? You eat well, take the highest dose statin you can, but still aren't getting where you need to be. Now there's Repatha, a different way to reduce LDL and get on the path to dramatically lower numbers. Repatha works differently than your statin to help clear LDL. Repatha plus the highest dose statin drove down LDL an average of 71% more than a statin alone.
Do not take Repatha if you are allergic to it. Repatha may cause allergic reactions. Signs include redness, severe rash or itching, swollen face, or trouble breathing. The most common side effects include runny nose, sore throat, common cold symptoms, flu or flu-like symptoms, back pain, and redness, pain, or bruising at the injection site.
Added to a highest dose statin, Repatha lowered LDL below 70 for up to 90% of people. Ask if Repatha can get you on the path to way lower LDL.
CBS News has confirmed the Manhattan District Attorney plans to present evidence against Harvey Weinstein to a grand jury next week. The disgraced movie mogul is facing a wave of sexual assault and misconduct allegations. Now, the New Yorker magazine reports Weinstein hired an army of spies to silence his accusers. Here's Jerika Duncan.
The article exposes how top private investigators tried to discredit alleged rape victim Rose McGowan. In at least one case, an investigator posed as a woman's rights advocate to gain more information about McGowan, who was getting ready to go public with her story. Reporter Ronan Farrow.
I think the key point here is that incredibly deceptive, intrusive behavior that terrified women and made them fear for their safety was being run through legitimate law firms in complete secrecy.
This contract, obtained by The New Yorker, is dated July 11th of this year and signed by attorney David Boyce, who famously fought for same-sex marriage. It shows Boyce's law firm executed a contract on behalf of Weinstein with Black Cube, a company made up of veterans of elite Israeli intelligence units. One of the objectives was to provide intelligence which will help the client's efforts to completely stop the publication of a new negative article in a leading New York newspaper. Last month, the New York Times reported that Weinstein allegedly paid off sexual harassment accusers. Today, a spokesperson from the Times told CBS News, "We learned that the law firm of Boyce, Schiller, and Flexner secretly worked to stop our reporting on Harvey Weinstein at the same time as the firm's lawyers were representing us in other matters. It is inexcusable, and we will be pursuing appropriate remedies." In a statement to his employees, Boyce addressed the perceived conflict of interest by saying, "We made clear that we needed to be able to continue to represent clients adverse to the Times." But he went on to say contracting with private investigators on behalf of Weinstein was a mistake. A spokesperson for Weinstein says no individuals were targeted or suppressed. Now, some conversations between a private investigator and Rose McGowan were secretly recorded and sent to Weinstein, according to The New Yorker, which may have been illegal. Anthony?
Jerika Duncan, thanks. Still ahead, elections for governor in 2 states test the mood of voters.
After a DVT blood clot, I sure had a lot on my mind. My 30-year marriage, my 3-month-old business, Plus, what if this happened again? I was given warfarin in the hospital, but wondered, was this the best treatment for me? So I made a point to talk to my doctor. He told me about Eliquis. Eliquis treats DVT and PE blood clots and reduces the risk of them happening again. Not only does Eliquis treat DVT and PE blood clots, Eliquis also had significantly less major bleeding than the standard treatment. Eliquis had both, and that turned around my thinking.
Don't stop Eliquis unless your doctor tells you to. Eliquis can cause serious and, in rare cases, fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve or abnormal bleeding. If you had a spinal injection while on Eliquis, call your doctor right away if you have tingling, numbness, or muscle weakness. While taking Eliquis, you may bruise more easily, and it may take longer than usual for bleeding to stop. Seek immediate medical care for sudden signs of bleeding, like unusual bruising. Eliquis may increase your bleeding risk if you take certain medicines. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures.
Eliquis treats DVT and PE blood clots, plus had less major bleeding. Both made Eliquis right for me. Ask your doctor if switching to Eliquis is right for you.
When you have a cold, stuff happens. Shut down cold symptoms fast with maximum strength Alka-Seltzer Plus liquid gels.
What are the ingredients of a life well lived? Is it the places you go, the things you own, or the people that fill it with meaning? For 150 years, generations of families have chosen Pacific Life for retirement and life insurance solutions, protecting what's most important to you. That's the power of Pacific. Ask a financial advisor about Pacific Life.
I have asthma, one of many pieces in my life. So when my asthma symptoms kept coming back on my long-term control medicine, I talked to my doctor and found a missing piece in my asthma treatment with Brio.
Once daily Brio prevents asthma symptoms. Brio's for adults with asthma not well controlled on a long-term asthma control medicine, like an inhaled corticosteroid. Brio won't replace a rescue inhaler for sudden breathing problems. Brio is specifically designed to open up airways to improve breathing for a full 24 hours. Brio contains a type of medicine that increases the risk of death from asthma problems and may increase the risk of hospitalization in children and adolescents. Brio is not for people whose asthma is well controlled on a long-term asthma control medicine, like an inhaled corticosteroid. Once your asthma is well controlled, your doctor will decide if you can stop Brio and prescribe a different asthma control medicine, like an inhaled corticosteroid. Do not take Brio more than prescribed. See your doctor if your asthma does not improve or gets worse.
Ask your doctor if 24-hour Brio could be a missing piece for you. See if you're eligible to pay no more than $10 a month.
Syria signaled today it will sign the landmark Paris Climate Accord. The war-torn country was the last holdout of the 2015 agreement to curb global carbon emissions. This also means the U.S. would be the only United Nations member outside the deal if President Trump makes good on his threat to pull out. Races for governor in 2 states highlight this election day. In Virginia, Democrat Ralph Northam is locked in a tight campaign with Republican Ed Gillespie in what's seen as an early referendum on President Trump. In New Jersey, Democrat Phil Murphy is favored over Republican Kim Guadagno, who has served as Governor Chris Christie's top deputy. When we come back, Jeff Glor will have an update from Texas. Plus, can a painting be too valuable to sell?
Prudential asked these couples, how much money do you think you'll need in retirement? Then we found out how many years that money would last them.
How long do you think we'll keep? Oh, you're gonna leave me back here at year 9? How did this happen?
It turned out a lot of people fell short of even the average length of retirement.
We have to think about not when we expect to live to, but when we could live to.
Let's plan for income that lasts all our years in retirement.
Prudential, bring your challenges.
Diabetes can be a daily struggle, even if you're trying your best. Along with diet and exercise, once daily Toujeo may help you control your blood sugar. Get into a daily groove.
Let's grow tonight. Share the spice of life. Baby, slice it right.
From the makers of Lantus, Toujeo provides blood sugar lowering activity for 24 hours and beyond. Proven blood sugar control all day and all night, and significant A1C reduction. Toujeo is used to control high blood sugar in adults with diabetes. It contains 3 times as much insulin in 1 milliliter as standard insulin. Don't use Toujeo to treat diabetic ketoacidosis during episodes of low blood sugar or if you're allergic to insulin. Get medical help right away if you have a serious allergic reaction, such as body rash or trouble breathing. Don't reuse needles or share insulin pens. The most common side effect is low blood sugar, which can be life-threatening. It may cause shaking, sweating, fast heartbeat, and blurred vision. Check your blood sugar levels daily. Injection site reactions may occur. Don't change your dose of insulin without talking to your doctor. Tell your doctor about all your medicines and medical conditions. Check insulin label each time you inject. Taking TZDs with insulins like Toujeo may cause heart failure that can lead to death. Find your rhythm and keep on grooving. Ask your doctor about Toujeo.
If you use denture paste instead of Seabond seals, your dentures may not hold as strong all day. Only Seabond has gradual release technology, so it holds 75% stronger all day versus the leading paste without the ooze. Seabond, stronger hold all day.
When it comes to heartburn, trust the brand doctors trust for themselves. Nexium 24 Hour is the #1 choice of doctors and pharmacists for their own frequent heartburn and all day, all night protection. When it comes to frequent heartburn, trust Nexium 24 Hour.
Palm Wonderful Pure Pomegranate Juice is loaded with antioxidants. Fiercely focused, free radical annihilating antioxidants. Palm Wonderful. Crazy healthy.
Lower back pain has met its match. Aleve Direct Therapy. The only remote-controlled TENS device that's drug-free and wire-free for deep penetrating lower back pain relief. And now get Aleve Direct Therapy with $20 off at your local Rite Aid.
What are the specific circumstances that would cause the President of the United States to launch a war against North Korea? What does that look like?
CBS This Morning, Real News.
Want to start a fight among art lovers? Try putting a price tag on some priceless works. Here's Jim Axelrod.
Norman Rockwell spent much of his life in New England, capturing the sweet and sentimental in small-town America, which paints the protests at the Berkshire Museum in Pittsfield, Massachusetts, with a certain irony. Rockwell donated 2 works here, including his masterpiece, Shuffleton's Barbershop.
No question.
When
Norman Rockwell donated these paintings, it was with the understanding they would be permanently displayed at this museum.
Of course, he had no idea what the value would become.
Tom Rockwell is Norman's grandson.
He loved that community, and so for him, it was clearly an intent to give it to the people of the Berkshires and to make it accessible for public view.
Well, we're hoping to raise $50 million.
Elizabeth McGraw chairs the Berkshire Museum's board.
The Rockwell is honestly one of the most valuable pieces that we do have.
With the museum facing tough times, they decided to auction off the Rockwells, which they saw as assets.
I think it would be a sad state of affairs if this was an empty building, which is what we are facing.
Is that really the only choice, to sell the Rockwells or to have an empty building here?
Well, it's, yeah.
It just feels like a tragedy to me.
The Rockwell family sued to stop the sale.
We kind of feel like he'd be rolling over in his grave if he actually knew about this.
It's a tough decision. It's a tough decision, don't get me wrong, but we have a trust with our community that we are entrusted with keeping this museum open.
Late this afternoon, the court ruled in favor of the museum, leaving them free to sell and to remind us all of the difference between money and treasure. Jim Axelrod, CBS News, Pittsfield, Massachusetts.
When art becomes an asset, it would be a shame to see it go. I'm Anthony Mason in New York. Now back to Jeff Glor, who has some final thoughts from Sutherland Springs, Texas. Jeff?
Anthony, we spent time in the hospital today with a woman who was hit multiple times during the attack. She is learning to walk again, just as Sutherland Springs is learning to recover. From everything we've seen since this happened, they will do so successfully. From gas stations to coffee shops to churches, it is a town full of help and hope, not hate. And they are recovering with faith, not fear. That is the CBS Evening News tonight. Much more tomorrow on CBS This Morning. For all of us here, I'm Jeff Glor. Good night.
Emotions ran high inside and outside an Omaha courtroom. A West Omaha daycare provider changed her plea in a felony child abuse case. Today, Lynn Rowe pleaded no contest to hitting and shaking a 4-year-old girl in her care. The judge then entered a guilty verdict. Good evening, I'm Craig DeGrelli.
And I'm Jennifer Griswold. The little girl's parents say they wanted her to admit guilt. Reporter Megan Stewart spent the day in court. She is live with the details. Megan?
Craig and Jen, the Myers say Lynn Rowe has watched their daughter since she was a toddler, and now they're finding it hard to trust anyone. An emotional morning inside the Douglas County Courthouse for Al and Kelly Myers, as the woman who watched their young daughter for years pleaded no contest to felony child abuse.
Well, I'm sick to my stomach right now. I don't know, it was terrible seeing her.
The Myers want the maximum 3-year sentence for Lynn Rowe, a former West Omaha in-home daycare owner seen in this video, appearing to hit, punch, and shake the Myers' daughter.
We made sure to position ourselves so she'd have to walk right by us, and she's wiping away her tears and said, "I'm sorry."
Rowe had nothing to say to reporters as she left the courthouse. Her lawyer also denying an interview.
I don't at this time. But this is every parent's worst nightmare.
Douglas County Attorney Don Klein says the video evidence was undeniable.
Without the video, you might have some injuries to the child, and maybe somebody saw it and would testify to it, but there's always still that question. The video obviously makes it very solid from the standpoint of we know what happened.
I don't have anything to say to her at all. I mean, what she did, and I don't care to ever talk to her again.
The Myers say their daughter is adjusting to life in a new daycare while they wait to see how much time, if any, Rowe will spend behind bars. And Rowe is scheduled to be sentenced in January. Reporting live here in the studio, Megan Stewart, 3 News Now.
New at 6 on 3 News Now. Police are looking for a man accused of robbing the Sac Federal Credit Union inside the Hy-Vee near 90th and West Center. Investigators say the man used a handkerchief to cover his face and handed the teller a note demanding money. Officers filled the area trying to find that suspect.
Now, your Weather Alert First forecast.
After plenty of cloud cover across the area today, we're finally starting to see some clearing taking place as the sun is going down a lot earlier, already dark outside. We have dry conditions across the area, but showing up on radar, just a few snow showers over the central part of the state. Not going to be impacting us for tonight. Clearing skies will continue. Temperatures are dropping. We're now down into the 30s, already 32 in Denison, back to the north between Wayne and even down to the south over Lincoln, already dropped down to 35 degrees. It is going to be a very cold start in the morning. Temperatures will keep plunging, going down to around freezing at 11 o'clock tonight and in the mid-20s early in the morning with light winds. We have one more just really cool day before a strong blast of cold air arrives. I'll show you the changes this next system will bring to the area.
A family in Fremont is dealing with exposed wiring and drywall inside their apartment, and they believe a danger is lurking above. Mold.
This after maintenance left a hole in the ceiling weeks ago. 3 News Now reporter Megan Hahn went to Fremont to check on the conditions.
The family says they reported the ceiling leaking on October 15th. 2 days later, a maintenance man showed up, cutting a hole that left exposed drywall and piping. Now that hole still hasn't been repaired.
There's only so much you can do when it's hard, when you have to make your kids live in a place like this.
Casey Croy is frustrated after a leak in her ceiling led to a repairman leaving this mess for 3 weeks now.
And there's like wires and insulation above there. It looks like there's mold around on the plaster around the hole.
It all started October 15th when Croy noticed something unusual above her shower.
Where the water was running down, where all the paint's bubbled up, and then that's where they cut the hole. It's gross to look at. It doesn't seem like it's very sanitary, I guess. I just don't understand how if somebody's gonna wear a mask to cut something out, why they would leave that open for me and my kids to be around.
Croy says she's tried to contact management of her affordable housing complex more than a dozen times and still doesn't know when the hole will be patched.
I even went as far to write a letter and put it in the the rent box and give it to him because he doesn't ever answer. He's never in his office.
And this isn't the first time. Croy's only lived at Yorkshire Manor for about a year. In March, a similar issue caused by water seepage forced her to move units.
My landlord kept telling me there wasn't mold. Well, they ended up the Selden company told me that they found mold in there.
A mother of two, Croy says she's concerned about her family's health.
My asthma has been acting up since we've been living here, and I'm on 3 different medications for it. I've never had this problem before. It's not always the best place to live.
And raise a family.
Yeah, especially when you're a single mom.
The family says they've contacted the health department to test for mold, but were told they'd need to front the costs up front and the landlord would later reimburse them. If mold wasn't found, there'd be no reimbursement. Reporting in Fremont, I'm Megan Hahn, 3 News Now.
Omaha-based Selden Company owns Yorkshire Manor. We called several times today for comment, but our calls were not returned. We'll update this story once we receive a response.
6:04 other stories we're tracking tonight. The woman accused of driving drunk and causing a crash that killed a 15-year-old girl in Sarpy County last month pleads not guilty. Paige Seaton entered the written plea today. The 22-year-old is out on bond. Prosecutors have charged her with crashing a car into another car north of the Platte River. 15-year-old Alexandra Linscott died, and the girl's mother was critically injured. A man whose fiery crash in West Omaha led to comments by a U.S. senator from Nebraska will be sentenced in January after pleading no contest to motor vehicle homicide. In July, Nemias Garcia Velasco was drunk when he lost control of a van. It careened off the I-80-680 interchange. Look at this. Slammed into a wall and burst into flames. 58-year-old Silvano Torres died in that crash. Afterwards, Senator Ben Sasse demanded answers from U.S. immigration officials after learning the department, one of the government departments actually, deported Velasco 7 times. But he was still here. Omaha police are looking for a man who robbed a gas station at Knife Point early this morning. The guy showed a knife at the Buc-ee's at 76th and Dodge around 1:30. He demanded money and cigarettes, then ran off.
The drive to collect ballots in the Miller tax override vote could lead to changes in Nebraska law. Volunteers are collecting ballots from homeowners to decide whether the district can raise the tax levy. Ballots are due by next Tuesday. The district says a yes vote would bring in $9 million. State Senator Lou Ann Linehan says she finds the use of vote collectors disturbing and bordering on intimidation. She tells 3 News Now she's certain legislation about it will be introduced in the next session. Papillion leaders will discuss plans to move ahead on a community center. The city council will vote on a plan setting the maximum price of the building at $48 million. The building would go up near 96th and Lincoln. The city already owns the land and is working to improve streets in the area. In 2016, voters approved raising the city's sales tax 0.5% to help pay for that project. And the Papillion City Council will also get its first hearing of a proposed ordinance that would allow pigs to be house pets. The change is inspired in part by Tori, the potbelly pig that went missing for 3 days. She was caught after getting hit by a car. Tonight's meeting begins at 7.
An update now on the Omaha Police Crime Lab. It has some big accolades and a new name. It's now accredited by a top international forensics board. The crime lab, now called the Forensics Investigations Section, is following the strictest rules for crime scene investigations. In September, the police chief announced the department is working with the University of Nebraska Medical Center for all its crime lab services.
If you notice angry drivers on area roads, you are not alone. A new study ranked Nebraska as the worst for road rage this year. The American Insurance Center ranks states based on the number of Instagram posts tagged with road rage per capita through the end of May. Nebraska topped the list just ahead of New York and Nevada. That's up from 5th on the same list in 2016. Do we deserve it? You can cast your vote on our Facebook page.
Also from the roads, a warning for drivers tonight. Watch out for deer. It's fall and crashes are on the rise. Deer are more active because it's mating season. You are most likely to see deer near the roads in the morning and evening rush. Experts say if a deer runs into your path, try to avoid swerving.
It's when you swerve that you get in trouble. So you see deer crossing the road, you're going to honk your horn, tap your brakes, maybe even put on your emergency flashers, stay in your lane.
Greg Wagner also says, remember, if you see one deer crossing the road, expect more to follow.
An Omaha immigration lawyer says deportations are happening in record numbers. Tom Campbell says in the past year, Immigration and Customs Enforcement has become more aggressive in identifying and deporting undocumented immigrants in Omaha. He says agents have nabbed them when they show up to work or when they pick up their children from school. In some cases, he says, they're getting sent to Mexico, even if they're from another country like Honduras or Guatemala.
Many of my clients, hundreds, in fact, were brought here as infants. Their first memory is in the United States. Their first language is English. They don't know where they were born, they don't remember, and it's not until later that someone says, hey, you're different. You're not from here like everybody else. And in their mind, this is a difficult concept to even understand.
Senior reporter Jake Wazakowski looks at immigration enforcement and the DACA dilemma tonight at 10 on 3 News Now.
Omaha's first-term congressman gets his first bill through the House, and it's one that benefits military families. Congressman Don Bacon's Gold Star Family Support and Installation Act passed today. It guarantees a surviving spouse and dependent children will keep their base privileges. It has nearly 90 co-sponsors from both parties. The retired Air Force general says the bill extends a small measure of compassion, dignity, and respect that their sacrifice deserves. The measure now goes to the U.S. Senate. A U.S. Marine with ties to Omaha is remembered decades later.
Now he's getting a new honor from the U.S. Navy. It is naming one of its new ships the USNS Miguel Keith. This is a look at the ship, which will support helicopters to fight piracy, provide security, and deliver aid. Keith went to high school in Omaha before going to Vietnam, where the Lance Corporal earned the Medal of Honor. The ship named for him will be ready by 2019.
They've been used to calm people down in the worst of times, therapy dogs, and now they're showing up in local classrooms.
How one is helping kids and what a teacher hopes her students will learn from her next.
And another unseasonably cool day today with highs in the mid-40s, but we have an even stronger cold front coming our way. I'll show you just how cold it's expected to be later in the week.
You're watching KMTV 3 News Now with Jennifer Griswold, Craig Negrelli, Weather Alert Team meteorologist Jennifer Zeppelin, and sports with Adam Kruger. This is KMTV 3 News Now, live at 6.
Taco John's new sirloin steak nachos aren't just a game changer, they're a name changer. Tons of fresh made chips, creamy poblano queso, loaded with juicy hunks of hand carved sirloin steak. All that steak, all that nacho, all for you. Consider the nacho game changed. Taco John's.
What's the worst part about moving? Other than moving? Downgrading your internet. And CenturyLink doesn't offer their fastest speeds in every part of town. With Cox, you get access to the same fast internet speeds everywhere, no matter where you move. With CenturyLink, you're putting everything in their hands. Is that the kind of internet service you want?
Visit Cox.com/challenge and see how the competition stacks up. Cox has the same fast internet speeds everywhere you move, starting at $29.99 a month with no contract.
Go online and take the Cox Challenge today.
The soil around your home is like a sponge. It absorbs water and expands when it's wet. It contracts when it's dry. For your foundation, these changes can be devastating, especially during very wet or very dry swings. Wall cracks, uneven floors, these are signs that a foundation problem is stealing value from your home. But there's a way to protect your investment. Call Thrasher today. We can make your foundation rock solid no matter what the soil does. So don't wait for the problems to get worse. Call us today.
Town Pediatrics. You know us for keeping kids healthy and same-day appointments when they catch what's going around. But did you know we also offer highly specialized diagnosis and treatment for life-altering disorders, digestive problems, and serious injuries? To learn more about our specialized care for kids and to meet our physicians, visit us today at boystownpediatrics.org.
Therapy dogs have been shown to soothe people going through a tough time, so it makes sense their presence might calm a classroom.
For 6 years, a teacher at Patriot Elementary in Papillion has brought in her certified therapy dog. Today we show you the benefits as we go in the classroom.
He ate some, so they're going away.
One little lady at Patriot Elementary earns praise from teachers.
She's definitely the most popular girl in the school.
And students.
She comes over and she sits with you.
Meet Phoebe.
I love dogs.
Not your stereotypical hyper terrier, this Westie has the patience to be a perfect therapy dog.
And her vest is her sign that she has to go to work. When I put her vest on, she's a completely different dog. At home, I still see a lot of the puppy behavior.
Phoebe comes to work with her owner, second grade teacher Kelly Vornbrock, at least a couple times a week. She says the pup helps teach respect.
Their voice level has to be a little bit quieter because she has sensitive ears. They know that they have to pick up their pencils and their crayons.
After all, fallen markers could end up with nibble marks. And Phoebe is a friendly face when a student needs it.
You're having a hard time, you might go to the chill chair and Phoebe might come over.
I've seen her sit with students who have autism when they're starting to feel really overwhelmed. She will go and sit underneath their chair and they'll just reach down and pet her.
Her calmness in the sometimes chaotic classroom is amazing. Even when the kids wanted to shine in the TV camera spotlight.
Guys, get over here.
Phoebe gently cozied in for her close-up. And there have been a total of 3 therapy dogs at Papillion La Vista Community Schools, and it is a family affair. The other 2 are owned by Vornbrock's mom and sister, who also work in the district. The In the Classroom series is part of our commitment to covering education in our communities. You can find our ongoing series on our website, 3newsnow.com.
Now, your weather alert forecast.
Clear skies, light winds equal a very cold start in the morning, really a frigid start to your Wednesday morning. Along with that, we're tracking another very strong front that's hanging out in Canada, and there is a chance for showers, but it doesn't move in until this weekend. Let's go ahead and talk about the details right now. High pressure is in control. That is allowing much lighter winds today. We had cloudy skies earlier in the day and then sunshine late in the afternoon. Now we're seeing the skies clearing out, dry conditions for tonight. And with those calm winds outside, that is going to allow temperatures to drop pretty quickly. We're already now down below 40 degrees, 39 here in Omaha, 32 Sioux Falls. Still some 40s down across the south, but as this cold air continues to keep plunging into the area, we have an even stronger storm system that is organizing back to the north of it. It's sitting in Canada right now. As it keeps dropping to the south, that is going to usher in a pretty big change for Thursday. So at least we have one more warm day or cool day on tap for tomorrow with plenty of sunshine around. But as this front that's already seeing temperatures in the teens and the 20s back to the north will be heading in our direction. So giving you a heads up that we do have a much colder day in store for us on Thursday, even for Friday morning. Now, as far as how the storm system will impact our weather, it's more of a wind shift. Very breezy conditions behind the storm system, but it comes through dry. So this will not bring any wintry precipitation. If anything, the biggest changes will be the cold air and the winds that'll be blowing in from the northwest. And you're going to notice the change. Those wind chill readings will make it feel even colder outside. Enjoy tomorrow because it will be a nice day in comparison to what's in store for us on Thursday. Right now we're at 39 degrees, a light northeast wind about 5 miles an hour. 62% humidity, dew points down there at 27 degrees, so very dry air in place. We hold with the upper 30s here up until about 8 o'clock tonight. We keep clear skies in here through the early morning hours tomorrow. We'll drop it down to about 30 degrees at 2 a.m., but most of the area tomorrow morning well below freezing, so frosty conditions. Mid to even upper 20s, almost area-wide from Atlantic to Red Oak, Nebraska City to even Lincoln. I think here in the metro we'll definitely make it down to about 25 degrees with those light winds. Tomorrow afternoon, tons of sunshine. It's going to be abundant, make it feel even better outside, and with those light winds from the south-southwest, good day to get outdoors, run some errands, or even walk the dogs, or just enjoy the day in general, doing any yard work if you have to do some last-minute stuff. Mid to even upper 40s to near 50 degrees. The forecast for tonight, clouds will keep decreasing, 25 degrees in the morning. Tomorrow, tons of sunshine, not nearly as chilly as it was today. We'll bump it up to 50 degrees. Those winds will be out of the south-southwest about 5 to 10 miles an hour. The next 3 days, we go from 50 down to 37. Then we drop it down to 18 Friday morning. 45. So we see a nice recovery here as another storm system starts moving in our direction. Cloud cover increasing. Breezy day for us on Friday as well. Saturday, kind of on and off showers. It doesn't mean it's going to rain all day long. I think mainly early in the day and maybe early afternoon. That front passes through. We drop it back to 50 degrees on Sunday. And then we see a nice recovery rebound here Monday and Tuesday. We're talking mid to even upper 50s to near 60 degrees.
All right, Sepp, 18 there as a low. Look out. Bob Diaco explains why the Black Shirts struggled at the end of the Northwestern game.
Hear from the Huskers defensive coordinator next in sports.
I was framed.
By who?
NCIS.
A death row case.
You could be resentencing an innocent man.
Could kill a career.
You didn't do the job. Hypocrite doesn't look good on you. Get out.
A new NCIS. Then
the DA wants to turn you into a cause. I just want to keep you out of jail.
When teachers go on trial, Bull gets blindsided.
I confessed.
I did not see that coming.
A new Bull after a new NCIS. CBS tonight.
Bellevue. Thanks for watching KMTV3.
Family is powerful. They listen. They protect. At CHI Health Clinic, we take a family approach to medicine with clinical providers who know you as neighbors at a location right around the corner. CHI Health Clinic. Imagine that.
Today we're going to talk about trucks.
Right on.
Which of these truck brands do you think offers best-in-class HD horsepower and the most capable off-road mid-size pickup?
I go Ram. I would put it on Ford.
Let's find out.
Chevy.
That's right. It's Chevy.
They look amazing.
Wow.
Chevy's killing it.
Yeah, definitely.
Current qualified GM lessees can get this light-duty Silverado All-Star for around $269 a month, or get special closeout pricing on our most popular 2017 Chevy trucks. See your Heartland Chevy dealers.
It's the grand opening of the newest Lebeda Mattress Factory showroom, and we're celebrating with grand opening sale prices at all Lebeda locations. Pillow tops with cooling gel memory foam, just $4.99. Premium latex pocket coil hybrids, grand opening price just $8.99. Two-sided mattresses that can be flipped, micro coil pillow tops, even adjustable beds with power bases. Grand opening sale prices on nearly everything in the store. Celebrate and save at Lebeda.
We're here to inspire you with the largest collection of home goods available anywhere. Because the more you visit, the more ideas you get. We're Nebraska Furniture Mart.
Now, your Omaha Sports Insider Report.
Following Nebraska's overtime loss to Northwestern on Saturday, Husker fans had plenty of areas to place blame, including the defense. NU was outscored 14-0 in the fourth quarter and OT combined. Here's how defensive coordinator Bob Diaco explained the loss on Saturday.
There's no reasonable reason, considering where the defensive program was at, to believe that they should be able to do everything that needs to be done in the game to win the game. The strain is spectacular, right? Do you see the strain? I mean, do you see it or no? Or is it just something that I'm missing? Right? You can't play a game like that and win.
All right, so today after practice, Diaco was asked about that specific quote.
So I'm not going to talk disparaging about the players. I love the players, so I'm just not going to do it. I'm never going to do it, and I'm not a talk about family business guy. And I want to do a third thing, and that's be honest. So when it's not going well, to do all three of those things becomes very hard, and the answer can become a little nonsensical as you try to make sure that you protect your beautiful players and you protect the integrity of the family business, because airing out your family laundry doesn't help anybody do anything.
Alrighty, the Huskers